So let's talk about Cannes Film Festival happening this week. So I don't have any beef with film festivals. I think they're a pretty like valid way of determining like movies for award season. Like I remember Venice Film Festival, like the Joker, like the 2019 movie won the main prize, the big cake. So like yeah, film festivals are like a way of determining like the validity of, you know, critically acclaimed movies. But for Cannes Film Festival, it's had a history of supporting rapists. And let me explain this real quick.
What do you mean rapists?
I think I heard
Yeah,
about
bro.
this.
No. Like, listen.
Bill Cosby?
So let's start talking about Roman Polanski, all right? That bitch. Roman Polanski. Shut up. Shut
My
up.
band's got a love for the minors, baby.
Bro, no. Okay, so Roman Polanski, I think it was in the late 70s, like 78 or 79, 77. Mm-hmm. He did some really messed up shit to this 13-year-old girl. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he went into like, they wanted to catch him, they wanted to put him in prison or something, like the U.S. government. And he was like,
fuck this shit up.
See ya. Yeah, you know what happened. He went to France
to
hide.
My man left the country.
He left the country to evade the charges, right?
Because he was
he was banned from the Oscars, from ever attending the Oscars ever again because of his rapey ways.
What happened to the girl?
The girl, this is a surprising thing. Like, I feel so sorry for her, and all my respect goes to her. But I think in a recent interview, she said that she didn't mind it, or she had no problem with it, or something like that. Which, you know, I respect what she says, but she's a child. She was 13. Children cannot consent, obviously. Mm-hmm. So he was definitely in the wrong there. He was like in his 40s.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and he just...
That's right. I thought he was like 30-something, but yeah, he was in his 40s.
Yeah, I don't know. He was in his 40s, I think. But anyway, like, he escaped to France, and he's been living there ever since. Like, this bitch has been evading charges.
Wait, is he still alive?
Yeah, he's like 80-something.
No
Yeah,
way.
he just hasn't been back in the States because he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, he knows they're going to get his ass.
Next movie coming out.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I don't know about his next movie, but I know his last movie was The Pianist.
I'd like to see his perspective now.
Oh, yeah, and just so you guys didn't know, he was married to Sharon Tate, which she was one of the victims in the Manson murders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they killed his wife. He was in London making a movie, and they called him, and they were like, yeah, somebody stabbed your wife to death.
Yep.
And was he like, well, she was old anyway.
Dude, the thing about this guy is that he's such a fucking asshole, because during his marriage to Sharon Tate, basically, like, he told her straight up from the get-go, he's like, I'm going to cheat on you. I'm going to be unfaithful to you.
Okay.
And I feel like not only did he say that, but he was like, I'm totally going to cheat on you with, like, possibly questionable younger women.
Exactly. Yeah. And Sharon, like, you know, I respect her a lot. She's one of my faves. She was like, okay, but she did it. She said, okay, because at the time there was like this whole sexual liberation movement of like the late 60s. So people were just kind of doing it everywhere. And she was like, yeah, like, I'm a really traditional, like, housewife, but like, I also want to be like in with a cool crowd.
She wants to be hip.
Yeah, so she straight up was like, okay. And yeah, he was just an asshole from the get-go. He basically, like, you know, he just treated her like shit. And then unsurprisingly, he does this like in the late 70s, like a couple of years after her death. And yeah, he's been living in France ever since. And he got banned from the Oscars. I think his last Oscar ceremony was when his movie The Pianist in 2003 was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah,
never saw that one.
I didn't either. It looked too sad. But like, what were some of his main movies?
So The Pianist is one of them, and then Rosemary's Baby, 1968.
That's a big one.
That's a big one, and a lot of people think that the fact that like Mia Farrow, like the actress that plays the main character, like the movie was cursed for some reason because she's like pregnant with Satan's baby, and they think that, you know, Sharon died when she was 8 months pregnant. She got stabbed to death. So like people like they believe that maybe there might have been a connection
karma
there, like between like the evil sort of project that he did. But anyway, sidetracking. So Cannes Film Festival has a history of still supporting Roman Polanski, even though he's a fucking rapist.
Okay, that's not a good
supporting Woody Allen, and Woody Allen has some great movies under his belt, like Annie Hall, Manhattan. They're my two favorites. But as a person, I can't, I don't condone his actions or him as a person.
A lot about what he does. I don't know Woody Allen outside of his acting career. So what?
Well, he is a director mostly, and let me just sum this up for you. He basically makes these movies that have like super witty dialogue, like heavy dialogue, and he mostly like places himself, or his main characters are usually quirky hipster dudes who are like have a superiority or intellectual complex, and they sort of meet a manic pixie dream girl, and she sort of helps them. She's sort of like a plot device to help him sort of overcome his own challenges, and it's pretty bad because it's kind of sexist, but yeah. So Woody Allen and Roman Polanski, and I think I was reading an article actually, and I think I sent you guys a screenshot. But Cannes Film Festival, basically it says that there's a protest going on right now, I think on Twitter, and it's called #CanYouNot, and it notes the festival's inclusion of accused or convicted abusers such as Roman Polanski, Harvey Weinstein, Woody Allen, Gérard Depardieu, and Luc Besson over the years. Cons seem to be proud of their history supporting rapists and abusers, wrote Eve Barlow, a journalist and friend of Amber Heard.
Yeah, well, there's an issue already with them still having Weinstein on the bill.
Yeah.
Dude,
And Roman Polanski.
And Amber Heard.
Like, I think these dudes, they have so much power, and I think all that power should be stripped away from them as soon as we find out that they're rapists and abusers.
In an ideal world, yeah, that
I know. In an ideal world,
money is the root of all evil and what goes around. So
yeah,
But they make good movies.
if you're a rapist with money, you can still be a rapist. Just saying.
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I feel like I really like the emergence of things like #CanYouNot, because it kind of sheds light on the fact that Cannes Film Festival still supports these kinds of directors that have like a really checkered past, and they're like rapists and stuff. And I just think that's unethical. And I feel like if I were an actress, I wouldn't go to Cannes Film Festival even to promote my own movie, just because I wouldn't want to be a part of something that acknowledges or pays respects to people that are rapists at all.
I mean, you try to separate the art from the artists,
Mm-hmm.
but in these cases, it's just a little too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little too much.
The line just becomes blurry. And
Yeah.
get this, Johnny Depp has a movie premiering at Cannes Film Festival. It has a really weird name, but he plays like a French king.
I heard about this.
And there's this whole drama right now with Brie Larson, like getting asked a question like, hey, you're like a avid supporter of victims' rights, like sexual abuse victims' rights. What do you think of Johnny Depp's movie? Like, they were trying to like gotcha her, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
Johnny
Johnny Depp had this whole thing with Amber Heard about, abuse allegations, and Brie Larson gave this like really vague and awkward response. I don't know if you can look it up real quick, but that's a drama right now that's going on.
I don't like people bringing fucking Johnny Depp and Amber Heard drama and everything.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, both of them were abusers, and that's not a good example.
Mm-mm.
No.
It's not a great example to use in all these contexts.
Yeah. And then lastly, aside from the fact that Cannes Film Festival needs to address sort of or reassess their position in supporting, unfortunately, artists that are abusers and rapists, the last thing I want to address is that Martin Scorsese is 80 now, and his latest movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, it's going to premiere this week at Cannes. And he's basically, I think an article written by Savannah Walsh basically says that Martin Scorsese says, I'm old, I want to tell stories, and there's no more time. So he's basically kind of reflecting on his mortality and saying, I'm 80, I've made all these movies, I don't know what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of sad?
Yeah, his
That is
movies
sad.
take way too much work for him. Every one of his movies is 6 hours
But
long,
you have to
so-
appreciate that,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
From a writer's and like a directive perspective of like my man Scorsese, when he makes a movie, he puts his heart and soul into a movie.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. It may feel like there's a lot of wasted time, but every second matters, and a veteran of a filmmaker like him definitely understands that and makes the most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but I mean, it must be hard. You're like 80. You look back at all the movies that you made, and you're just like, wow.
It's like the
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood films also. He says he's going to keep making a last one, and then he's making another one now.
He's like, when am I gonna
Yeah.
die?
Yeah.
I'm so mad that they're doing another Indiana Jones.
Oh, me
yeah.
too.
They don't let things die.
No.
I
They
feel like
don't.
they had to redeem themselves from the last one.
Why?
Yeah,
The
this-
last one was bad enough. It's okay to just let it die. Don't do worse. Harrison Ford is triple digits right now. Man's like 120 years old. Like, what?
Yeah. And that's why I thought there were rumors that Chris Pratt was going to replace him.
You mean crisp rat?
Okay. Here's the thing. That's exactly what they said with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah,
And that didn't happen.
that didn't happen.
So
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this movie was too bad for that to
the
happen.
movie was too shit.
Crystal,
Yeah.
Too shit
Crystal
for us to
Skull,
carry on.
right? That was it.
Yeah, Kingdom.
I don't
Crystal
understand why
Skull.
Indiana
Yeah.
Jones 5 even exists.
The
'Cause-
first one?
Because like
But
face
then
technology
again-
is good now.
Then again, what am I saying? It's like the same thing with this Mario Bros. Movie that we're going to talk about today. It's just studios valuing
Milking.
profit.
They're milking.
They're milking it.
It's
We're
like
milking the
I'm
movie.
gonna get so mad that we're getting so many stupid ass remakes.
Amen to that, brother.
When there's so many good original ideas that are like out
Oh,
there,
yeah.
right? But the problem is
They're not getting attention.
that they're not even getting attention. And then when they do, like outside sources. When they,
Okay, look, you know what, EJ? These movies that you're talking about, they're not good enough for meme content. So,
That's not. Don't,
Yeah.
don't even trigger me right now. Dog. We have so many like outsourced movie types, right? The problem is that we don't know how, as Americans, for some fucking reason, it's like if you're gonna do a remake, you should do a remake of like outside sources, right? Like Old Boy, for example. But the problem is the context of Old Boy, when made in Korea, really good. Comes over here and it's a Spike Lee joint, kind of shit. And I love Spike Lee. But then
True,
they butchered this movie because we hate telling good, dark stories for some fucking reason. We want to tell positive, upbeat, uplifting stories of how the hero overcomes the system. And that's not how it fucking works all the time.
well, this is, in my humble opinion, I think
I'm
there
gonna
was a
get
time
some
where they
water.
actually put in
Be right
some
back.
effort, and these writers and directors were like, no, yeah, we got to do this and we got to put all our effort into it. The movie came out excellent. Like Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, kind of the 80s were kind of the setup to the blockbuster sort of genre. And so they did such a well job because they were passionate about what they were doing. They were passionate about the movies. And then the studios were like, whoa, they were super successful.
Yeah, like we didn't see
Let's
that.
make more. Let's make remakes. Like they
Yeah.
just take advantage of
That's so triggering.
artistic creativity
Yeah,
and
So
they
triggering.
just want to turn it up for profit.
yeah.
And so I think that is a perfect leeway to get into the movie of today, which is
Yeah.
the Mario Bros. Movie.
Well, yeah. Before
we could
just
transfer into it.
a quick little thing before we do that, Oppenheimer and Barbie, those are probably the next movies that we're gonna watch and review. But other than that, it's just a bunch of big blockbusters. We're gonna try to shake it up. I feel like the Mario movie we had to do a big blockbuster.
Yeah.
I'm happy for both of these movies, though.
Yeah, but these two movies are really like the big serious ones of the summer.
Yeah.
So
Which ones?
Barbie and
Oppenheimer and
Oppenheimer.
Barbie. So those are coming out.
Oppenheimer is going to be dope, most likely.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That looks really
The
good.
trailer gave
Barbie-
me chills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Barbie, I really want to see.
Oh, I
yeah.
am so excited for
excited.
Barbie.
Ryan Gosling,
And not even
guys.
because it's Barbie. I'm just excited because Greta Gerwig is one of my favorite directors. Yeah, like, and
Very
I'm just so excited to see what she puts out. A lot of people think that the target audience is kids,
No.
but it's a grown up movie. It's not
yeah.
grown up and like there's gonna be like
Well,
sex jokes or anything like that. It's just grown up in the sense that it's like it's gonna
Made for us.
be like
it's made for us because there's no modern
exactly.
Barbie craze, right? So there has to be sort of like the millennial
It's like a
pull
retro.
for the retro audience. Of
I
like,
feel like in a sense it's gonna be like from what I can see in the trailer, it's gonna be like sort of Barbie coming from the Barbie land into the real world
yeah,
Yeah.
and sort of seeing what it's like or doing something.
and kind of being a musical.
Yeah,
Ryan
maybe.
Gosling.
I think it's kind of like a dark comedy. What
Yeah.
the vibe I'm getting from
It
Barbie.
looks like
Yeah.
a dark
Definitely not a
comedy.
kids movie. It's to me it's gonna be like a dark comedy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Michael Cera.
I'm ready for Ryan Gosling.
I want to see.
Said that
I'm
like
ready-
5 times.
I
No,
know. I'm
Ryan-
sorry.
Ryan
That's the
Gosling.
only
Are you
thing I'm
like-
thinking
Are
about.
you like crushing on him?
No, you see, he did say that's the best script he's read ever so far.
I mean, duh.
Yeah, he did say that. He also
Better
he
than
also
Blade
was-
Runner.
The
It's
new
not
one,
hate on Blade
2049.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I can tell you don't like it. Yeah.
I just don't. Okay, you know what? They might be great movies, but the fact I think we need to do a whole episode on incel movies. Because I have so much, like, they take these movies and they ruin them because they project themselves onto them. And some movies like American Psycho, they're like ironically like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're not supposed to worship him, you're not supposed to idolize him, but guys do it
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of American Psycho. It's
Yeah.
supposed to you're supposed to not like him, but people can't make a movie about a disliked character now with people being like, oh yeah, I'm totally a fan of that character. It's like you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Great Gatsby, you're not supposed to like anyone from Great Gatsby.
No, you're
Yeah.
not.
You're
Yeah.
Not even the main character.
No, dude, but people
Yeah.
are like, yeah, I resonate with Gatsby. You're a problem.
You have a problem, bro.
Yeah.
You're like,
Something
"Oh,
wrong
dude."
with you.
Well, yeah. Well, that kind of goes back into what we were talking about, how the just American viewers of movies have been, cycled through to just want to see this movie has to have a good ending. These characters, there has to be a great character that I'm going to fall in love with and relate with in every single way. And the bad guys have to lose no matter what. And that's just how everything is. Everything's going to be good. It's all going to end well. And
Stories like that.
I feel like we are slowly coming over to like the fact that like there are bad people in this world and movies can be centered around that.
I wonder if somebody started, I don't want to say that I would love to be at the forefront of this, but I really would, like a bunch of villain stories as movies and just releasing them in
You
theaters.
mean like Maleficent?
Yeah.
Not necessarily Maleficent, but like deeper stories about morally gray characters, original stories. Not like Maleficent where it's like this is a Disney character that you can have free will.
Oh, I see what
with.
you mean.
But you kind of come up with these original stories that kind of go against the grain of what we've known, which is we've always known as the happy ending with the hero winning.
Right.
But if you released a bunch of stories, like, this is actually your villain.
Exactly.
Maybe you would have a new kind of pull into
Exactly.
movies.
Exactly. And I think a perfect movie that encapsulates sort of that spirit and that thought is Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino. Came out in 1975, if I'm not wrong, or 1974 or 73.
If you
But,
want a more modern take, I think Nightcrawler is a nice modern feel for it too.
For like a rehash of Dog Day Afternoon.
And, not a rehash, but like a take on a villain. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's also part of the incel movie collection, Nightcrawler.
Is it Nightcrawler?
Yeah, Nightcrawler, Drive, Taxi Driver, Joker, Blade Runner 2049. I could go on. American Psycho. All these movies
are
about
these movies incel because the incel culture
No, they're not
adopted
like
them?
bad movies or they're not like
Okay.
incel movies, but it's just movies that incels have appropriated.
Okay, that's okay. Understandable.
Yeah.
Because like I look at these movies and I'm like, these are just normal movies that.
No, yeah, they are normal
movies.
movies. It's just annoying how incels have appropriated them. Like, for example, one of my friends that I talked to, he's like, have you seen this movie? And I'm like, yeah, good movie. Have you seen this movie? And like every single movie that he mentioned, I'm like, are you turning into an incel right now? like all the movies that you mentioned are literally on the incel collection, Criterion collection.
Breaking Bad is also a nice villain story.
Yeah,
I mean,
Breaking Bad is a villain
I mean,
story.
it's
Yeah.
a TV show. It doesn't really apply to the movies,
Yeah.
but it's like the
Yeah.
same concept.
Mm.